Press.
Okay. My name is Jeanette Beagle, and I do live in Monroeville.
Did you say Jeanette?
Jeanette, Janettee, Beagle, Beigel.
Thank you.
Hope you all had a wonderful holiday.
Thank you.
Good time off. I'm here before you as a concerned parent of University Park Elementary.
Okay.
It is our understanding that it's either the municipality or the police department. Somebody is responsible for a crossing guard placement. The crossing guard that has been at the driveway of our school has retired December 31st. We no longer have a crossing guard there. I don't know if you've driven on the road that goes past University Park, the children that walk to and from school. I don't have an exact number, but we'll ballpark it at 10, low ball it. That's 360 times each child has a year of being hit by a car.
Say that again?
300. You have one child walking to and from school twice a day, 180 days a year, is 360 times a year.
Oh, no, I thought you meant somebody was hitting.
No, you haven't gotten that phone call yet, which I hope you never do.
Me too.
Because I don't want to be on the receiving end of the district-generated call that we're having counselors at school because a child's been hit. Our crossing guard is not being replaced. This is concern. If you drive on the road, there are 2 signs that I could find, and this week driving up and down the road that states there's a school zone. There's no signage stating 15 miles an hour. There's no blinking light stating 15 miles an hour. The easement that the children have to walk on, the white line to where the grass starts, is maybe 18 inches in the largest spot because I was out there with my tape measure.
Okay.
There's no sidewalks for them to walk on, meaning now you have 5-year-olds up to 10-year-olds walking, not easily visible. Cars will have to try to swerve around them. We're hitting winter time with roads being plowed, meaning where their safety zone to walk in is now going away.
Well, I can tell you, Jeanette, this is the first I'm hearing this, so I don't have any particular issue. I don't know if anybody on council does. But
Well, I'm
that
sure
would be-
if there's a signage issue, we can address that right away. And I believe the chief's in charge of the,
Well, I think it's both
School
chief and the
crossing
school
guard.
district.
I mean the school crossing guards.
Chief, you want to come on up and address that, please?
Are you talking about on Noel Drive or College Park?
No. Yeah.
That's what I thought you were saying, yeah.
I wasn't sure which intersection you were.
Yeah, we've had a rash of people retiring. As the years have gone by, we've attritioned down. We had a total of 7 school crossing guards, 2 of which were at Ramsey, 2 of which were in the area of University Park 1, right at the entrance, University Park 1 at Knoll Drive and College Park. And then we had the 2 at Ramsey, right on Ramsey Road at the entrance.
Let me ask you this, Steve. Do we have any applicants?
Well, we haven't. That's been part of the issue, too. And the other part of the issue has been that as they've been attritioning down, we've had less and less children. At one time, we used to have 15 or 20 kids walking at certain schools. We had a bus stop over in Mellon Plain that we were covering. The only real intersection where we have a bus stop that gets covered with a lot of traffic is Garden City at Old 22.
Yeah.
And we still have a guard there.
So it sounds like they
I
have a
mean,
lot of kids, too, right?
She said there's 10.
I'm saying that?
I'm guessing around 10, judging from when I pick my children up from. My children ride a bus. But I don't want to have to explain to my children why 2 of their classmates in their classroom, or one of them, because I know they have 2 walkers in their room alone, why somebody got hit by a car and what happened to a child,
other
because
history-
it happens.
So
correct.
we're looking to replace.
Well, that's been one of the issues we've been looking at. We are budgeted to be able to replace them for this year
But you don't have any
at
applicants
this
right
point.
now.
So we do not. So we
We don't have the ones at Ramsey any longer either, right?
Ramsey, and what's occurred there is the same thing that happened at almost all the other elementary schools or any of the middle schools, is they all get bused.
Yeah.
Nobody walks anymore. I mean, the exception is the school, obviously, at University Park. But Ramsey, we had a rash of walkers back in the late 2000s, 2006, 2007, and that's why we added, middle 2000s, 2005, that's why we added an extra guard. We always had a guard at Monticello and Ramsey, but then right now we don't have the walkers there. We just don't have the kids. So that's been the issue. Even when we talk to the school crossing guards, the hours of the guards have changed dramatically over the years too, which has also been another issue.
Well, Doug, until we replace them, is it possible just to put a cop over there for?
Well, we were
a little bit
discussing that
time
with
in
the
morning?
school district as well as the Monroeville Police Department. We could do that.
Do we advertise, Doug?
We have
those
not advertised. It's
positions?
been more of a word of mouth.
Word of
Well,
Yeah,
can you put that on the website that we're looking for school crossing guards?
Yeah, I think
I mean,
that's what we should do.
I'm sorry,
so
I didn't
people
know
are
about
aware
it,
there
but-
might be a
Well, a lot of
retiree or
us,
somebody.
I can say, I didn't even know our crossing guard was retiring till a fellow parent had posted something on
Well, then you
Facebook
did
that we
right
don't
coming
even have
up
a
then.
crossing guard, so.
You wanted to come up and say something, young lady? Just, you can go right here in the middle, but again, sign in and then state your name for the record and that you live in Monroeville. You do not have to give your address.
My name is Jennifer Davis, and I do live in Monroeville. I live on Noel Drive, and I have 2 walkers. My big issue is with the cars on our street. They are speeding. They are not going 15 at all. I had called the non-emergency line to complain when my son was in kindergarten. He's now in 2nd grade. And I had offered to have police officers sit in my driveway and watch people, and they said it wasn't necessary. Cars fly. I have been, since the crossing guard has retired, I walk my children to school and walk them home from school. The cars, when I walk, if I go like this, a car will hit my arm. It's just not a safe environment. I feel that they need to be monitored, they need to go slower, they need to be more aware that these are little kids who are not aware of their
Oh, no, I get
environment.
that.
Well, a crossing guard's not going to help that problem.
No, but they are going to help crossing that street because
Correct, but not
cars-
the car speeding
No,
or paying
but
attention.
That's the second part, is the speeding. But the crossing guard is going to help with them coming in and out of the driveway because parents are flying in the driveway. Buses have to stop because parents are flying in and out. And, you know, the kids try to run across when they think it's safe, but there's
yeah.
no crossing guard to.
If I can
Is Noel Drive posted at 15 or 25?
It isn't posted.
25.
Is it?
Okay,
it's
that means,
confined to
that means
sign.
that we can't do nothing until they go over 35.
Yeah, but if
We
it's
get
by
a
a school
school
zone,
zone
is that by a
designation.
designated
I mean-
school zone?
Paul?
There's-
Unless that happens.
There's
I mean,
a
that's-
little school zone sign, and there's a big weeping tree in front of it. So anytime that the leaves are on the tree, the sign is 100% blocked.
Paul, can you
Mr.
maybe
Yugas?
address this? It seems to be your expertise.
We're going to send that to our,
We just recently went
Official.
through this exercise with North American Motors to establish a school zone to reduce the speed limit from 25 to 50, from 25 to 15, excuse me. It has to be done through PennDOT. They have the ultimate jurisdiction. It's an application, we have to do a traffic and engineering study submitted to PennDOT, and then they will, or may not approve it.
Paul, do you
but
think
they
we might have
probably
one
will.
there already, though?
I don't think we do.
You know?
Even on
can't we
College
get,
Park
can't we get
Drive,
that tree cut, at least the tree
zone.
even
trimmed
on
back?
College Park Drive, being
Yeah.
that's our municipal road?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Now, he's actually talking, you're talking about
Noel-
College Park, but she's
Noel
also
Drive.
talking about Noel Drive, which definitely is a
There's
municipal
Where
road.
the
a
driveway,
little,
yeah,
there's
there's
like
like-
a
Saying on
little
a municipal
sign that
road,
says
can't we
school
do that
zone.
without PennDOT?
No.
So,
We need to get someone over there to trim the tree, Paul.
Without PennDOT's approval in a school zone, regardless of ownership.
So looking at this piece by
We
piece.
need to
real
have
quick,
someone go over and trim the
Chief
tree.
Cole,
It is for the
would it
school
be
zone for how many
possible,
years?
Sign.
until the tree gets trimmed, could you use your big speed limit sign that seemed to be effective on a couple of the other roads? We could set that up, we can get the tree trimmed.
We have to get
And
someone
in
over
the
there to trim the tree.
And we'll
yes.
have
have
that
the police
tomorrow.
officer or the school officer there.
Sounds
And
like
then, in the meantime, we can see if we have a traffic study done. If we don't have the traffic
Then
study
let's do
done
the
yet,
application.
can we get the application filled? That way, at least we're,
You know, I
Trying
mean,
to
it
take
is
a
problem,
proactive
and
look,
obviously,
you know.
a school zone is very important to have around schools and around entrances to schools. There's no
Right.
doubt, Ramsey Road's one of them also. But the issue certainly is, again, and is Councilman Harvey certainly will be able to tell you, speed enforcement is very problematic for local law enforcement. I always ask, when people ask me about speeding, I say, is there a stop sign close? Because usually it means they're not stopping for a stop sign.
They don't.
And they don't, obviously. College Park, we sit there routinely, and in College Park and Knoll, we'll put some more enforcement into that. But to try to do speed enforcement is just, with a 15, giving miles over, I mean, you can argue in a school zone, you don't have to give the miles over. It just doesn't work because we don't have access to radar.
Can they
And that's
do
one of the
speed bumps?
issues. Well, that's a whole engineering and traffic study, and that's a whole other game, too. I mean, the idea behind it really is that we can't do that type of enforcement on that small of a road. It just won't work for us.
Can I intervene real quick? I've noticed in my career here that anytime we put up the flashing light school zone, people
Slow down.
slow down.
They
I
pay
mean,
attention.
Any of that kind of
So if
positive
we could
enforcement.
install a couple school zone
That's
flashing
absolutely
lights,
great.
do we have to go through PennDOT to
No,
do that?
I need to reduce the speed limit.
Because I know we have it on
So that would be-
Haymaker, on Haymaker, we have it on Old
It's on Evergreen, Steve.
Yeah, on Evergreen,
Right.
up there.
And we
at-
could-
Those actually have flashing lights with them.
Yeah.
Those are reduced
Right.
areas.
And we could do that, put those lights up
You could
without the
put a
traffic.
signage with a light, but to reduce the speed limit.
But you all still okay with doing the application? to
Well,
get
let's
the
do-
But
relief?
believe me, when
Let's
you
do the
see those
sign with the
lights
light.
flashing
You
and
slow
it's a
down.
Let's do
school
what
zone, you
Stevie's
slow
talking
down.
about.
Great point. Put the lights up.
I have another recommendation. We have a portable speed sign
No.
that
That's
I've
what
used a couple of
Paul
times.
just said that.
I'll get the speed sign up there tomorrow.
Oh, I was
That'll happen tomorrow. That'll
falling
happen
asleep
tomorrow.
there.
That'll be, I'll make sure that happens.
Good morning, Mr. Wilson.
We'll probably get it for Monday.
Thank you.
Well, the speed sign's a great idea, great
Thanks.
idea.
Yeah.
Both of you. I have around the ball, we'll have that up
That
there
was me.
immediately. And then as for looking at we've obviously
another one.
advertised on TV here today about the school crossing guards.
But we'll
get
put it
moving
up
with
on the
that. We'll get
website
on the
as well.
get going on it. Okay?
And then,
No problem?
then you are going to put the flashing lights up, though,
That
right?
was Steve's idea.
Yes, great
His
idea.
idea.
I like
I
the
know
flashing
personally,
lights.
when I see
slow
those
down.
lights flashing, man, I hit the brakes.
I do
Right.
too.
Those
I
are red
agree.
and blue.
That's, I mean.
I agree. I would like to see the
Something-
flashing
Well, thank you for
light.
bringing it up, and again, I'll apologize for myself as the mayor and for council on behalf of
Oh,
council.
here
I
comes
didn't know
Doug.
anything about
Yeah,
that
and-
light
and-
required, so.
right, we didn't know until, like, we got no notification from the school that our crossing guard's retiring. I mean, we got
I
nothing
think,
but.
I think
posts
us
from somebody,
advertising
so.
for this position, I mean, people wouldn't know. We go by word of mouth now, you know, if
I didn't know.
happens to be in your area. But if we advertise for the positions, I think it's a win.
If you wanted to address this, sir, you have to sign in and then state your name for the record.
And it's good that you came up to speak, because sometimes, we don't know what's going on. I mean, when my kids were going to University Park, I lived on Beatty Road. And you can imagine, and they wanted them to walk to the end of the road to get to the bus.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, there's no sidewalks. Where do you want them
Right.
to walk in the wintertime?
Right. Well, that's
So-
what my main thing is. When they plow the roads, it covers up that little white line
Even that,
area,
yes.
and then the kids have to walk in the street.
That's
and
what
then
I said to
the
them.
cars back up behind the kids,
put
and
that out
it's
there.
just
I'm like,
a dangerous
there's Pat buses
situation.
coming, so I mean, I had to go and make a big deal of it to
Now,
get
put the municipal-
Right.
something done. And so if we don't know, we can't do anything, just like
Well, I
when
think
they
you
didn't know
two
before.
Did your job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sir, you wanted to address us.
My name's Justin Davis. I'm Jen's husband. I live on Knoll too, I guess, right? But just as long as there's someone there in the meantime. I mean, the signs are great, just as long as there's someone watching the kids. Because the real problem, and I grew up on Knoll too, so I've been watching this when there was 20 kids. Now there's 10, but there's still 10 kids. And that's the
We're going to have a cop out there.
But that's perfect. That's all. It's the traffic coming in, up the hill, the buses in the narrow. Just as long as there's someone there. I wasn't
We
for
get your
sure on
point.
that.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
for that, for coming and going, there should be an
Until
officer
there's-
there
yeah.
until.
Yeah,
Awesome.
as of tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Won't
Thank
be
you.
an issue.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you for-
guys.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave it open for any resident who'd like to address council. Seeing none, we'll close that proportion of our meeting, and we'll